nothing is going the way we thought or what we think we should have happened. Now,
That's so good.
now, that's where your faith grows.
Yeah, come on.
Like, okay, like I don't hear your voice clearly right now, but I trust you that you brought me here. I don't know why I'm here. Like, you have given me passion for preaching, but I haven't preached for 2 years. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're growing me in something else, So like, it's this perseverance, like where there is diamond coming in, there is this pressure happening. So like, yes, it's been difficult years, but at the same time, it's been the most beautiful year. Just knowing character and nature of God, even when we don't feel like things are going right in our eyes.
Welcome back to the Jesus Magnet Podcast. I'm your host, Joel, and today we have Arjun with us. But before I get into having Arjun on the podcast, I actually really want to help and show our appreciation to all of our supporters on the Coffee Club membership. So they are pledging, give $5, $10, $20 a month to help the Jesus Magnet get more testimonies. So I'll just quickly have a shout out. Thank you, Karen, Tim and Amanda, Matthew Wilson, Olivia Hannah, and Jeremy Hannah, Barbara Geratz, Susan Reap, Paul, Caroline Hughes, Dan Alini, and we also have a few more on the next page: Lisa, Claire Sim, and also Dean Payne, Shakira, Mike Tonks, and Julie Carlo Hillary. Thank you guys so much for supporting the Jesus Magnet. You guys are absolutely amazing. Now let's get back into the episode. How you doing, Arjun?
Hey, matey. Good. Yourself?
I'm very good. I'm stoked to have you back on the podcast this is like one of those great moments where Arjun has the amazing, unique title in the Jesus Magnet podcast as the original testimony. Arjun is the very first episode we ever recorded. Hang on, let me just double check that. He might even actually be the second, but he's in the top 5, and I remember bringing him on. I think you were the first one to be recorded, but let me just double check to see if you were the first one that's actually listed on the podcast. So you're actually number 3, but I think you were the first one recorded.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, it was so cool to have Arjun on the podcast last time. It's a nuts testimony. Please go check out episode 3. So it's called Arjun, and an incredible testimony about being born in a refugee camp in Nepal with domestic violence, suicidal thoughts, life radically transformed by Jesus. So go check that out. It's absolutely an amazing testimony. So yeah, I'm stoked to have you back on the show, Arjun. And I mean, you and I go way back, really.
Yeah, we do.
You're a fellow YWAMer, and you've gone to the next level. You were in New Zealand, and you were doing some building, but now you've swapped over to Mexico, and let's just do an update, man. What have you been doing for the last couple of years?
So I've been really staffing a Bible school that's called Discipleship Training School. So I've been helping out with my wife along the side with me. So just helping out in the Bible school, pioneering Bible school, just a handout there. And yeah, we've been here for year and a half actually. So we've been have a huge heart for Bible engagement for the indigenous people and the people out here. So yeah, that's what we've been doing, and doing practical things as well, getting the base running. So right now we're in Tamasun Chale, pioneering a base with amazing group of people led by amazing leaders. So yeah, that's what we've been doing right now. And yeah, and it's been super busy. This couple of years has been ups and downs, but God is always faithful, and it's been busy with all the new ministry that's been started and that's happening right now and still going, working with rehab ministry, working with kids ministry, and just going to the villages. And yeah, there's so much more that's happening over here.
Wow, awesome. I'm stoked to, let's get into the nitty gritty in a bit, but we'll just go for a brief, what's the first thing when you know that God's called you to be a missionary in a different country? So from New Zealand, which is, fairly Western and very down to earth culture. What's it like moving from New Zealand over to Mexico? Just that change on your, I don't know if you can rewind in your mind your first couple of months living there. How different was it?
So for me, I think it goes back to my testimony, because like I grew up in refugee camp, and like, you know, like you lived in a poverty. So like coming to Mexico for me wasn't like all surprise with like how you lived and how you did that, or did how you cook and how you ate and all these things. That wasn't much of a culture shock for me because it's similar to Nepal.
How cool is that? God actually used your testimony as a strength for where he called you to go, so that you didn't freak out when you go into a different country.
Yeah, no, it was really cool. God, yeah, really blessed me with that. But it was difficult, you know, because we were married when we came back after COVID. When the Lord called us back to Mexico, like for me, it was easier. But for my wife, like, yes, she's German and she lived in New Zealand for a year and a bit as well. So like for her, it was a little bit difficult because it's very top-down leadership style over here. And just like always going to the authority and all these things. So it was difficult, seriously. But at the same time, I think because we love God so much, like we knew we were called here for a while. We knew that the people are worth it.
Yeah, come on. That's awesome.
Like no matter where we go, like you have a story to tell, you have a light that you carry, like it's worth it, you know. And like we knew that the Lord called us here because like he told us very clearly, like we were not done with Mexico yet.
Yeah.
And that's why we came back to Mexico to run another school, the Bible school, because we have a, like I said at the beginning, we have a huge heart for Bible engagement. So yeah, like it was difficult at the beginning, but as you know, as you live with people, like you start getting used to it, like different languages, you have to get used to that. The way of living, you have to get used to that, because like you can't just go hiking. Like in New Zealand, you can just go hiking in the weekends, but here you can't. You have to be very cautious that you don't get robbed or get bitten by a snake or whatever's out there, you know. So with those things, like it's very, for me, it was like a little bit shocking. I'm like, dude, like there's some huge mountains here. I want to go climb that, but you know, you just can't do that unless you go with the local people. So yeah, like those things were a little bit shocking, and the way of driving was shocking as well for me.
What do you mean?
Just like Mexican driving is a little bit different than New Zealand driving, you know.
Is it like an anthill and all the ants are sort of like going all over the place and weaving in and around each other?
Yeah, just like India, you know. So
I love
so
it.
yeah, like those things were like still is a surprise, but at the same time, you know, like when the Lord called you, he'll give you his heart for the nation.
Yeah.
And we really feel like that's what happened to us. Like even when there was ups and downs at the beginning with our marriage, and you know, living under a base where there's everybody just come into our living room, you know, like, so like our living situation was difficult at the start, and like just all these things that when you're firstly married, you go out to the nation and then you live in a place where they just give you that because you have to. So that was a little bit difficult for our marriage at the start to be in, you know, here, because like we love communities, but yeah, that was really difficult, but at the same time, like really good.
Yeah,
because we grew a lot in that.
That's it. You're put into these situations where it creates a lot of pressure, and it might be in your marriage, and it might be in your, you know, you're learning and growing in wisdom, but those pressure makes diamonds, eh? So you and Rose are now, I guess, when you look back on it, it's like going to the gym. You've created those gains, and in your marriage, you guys know how to put yourselves in an uncomfortable situation in your marriage, like going all the way over to Mexico and learning to live there, learning to navigate there, and then having the living situation of probably, or the staff members or the school coming into your home all the time. That builds that, I guess, resilience in your marriage, on top of your marriage, like in your personality as well. And it's all good at the end of the day. God, Bible talks about this. He disciplines those he loves. I mean, I don't know if I'd call it discipline, but there's a good outcome from going through trials and uncomfortable situations like that.
Yeah, like, it says in James, like every trials that you go through, do it with joy.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we're learning, even to this day, like just trial comes after trial after trial. But I like what it says as well, just like the more trial you have, the more glory you're going to see.
Yeah.
And I think that's been the word for us as well, just like keep pushing, don't give up, like keep pushing, even if it's hard, like even if it gets so difficult, keep pushing. Yes, you're in a different culture, you have a different country, you left your home, you left everything behind, you left your security, you left your just everything behind. It's like, yes, that's difficult, but like if you press on, if you hold on to me, when Jesus says that if you hold on to me, I will give you eternal life, And I think that's been our anchor, is just to hold on to Jesus, keep looking onto him.
That's so good. Yeah. And I just think that what you're doing over there is so cool. And I kind of want to dive a little bit more into that, because when we briefly went over the Bible schools that you are a part of with Youth with a Mission. Let's go into, if I'm listening to this podcast, I don't know what YWAM is, or the Bible schools, or a DTS, Discipleship Training School. I don't know what any of that is. Let's go through what the length, the focus, and the effect of a discipleship training school, and that's what one of your focuses is in Mexico.
Yeah. So it's a 3-month school. And then afterwards, there is an optional outreach that you can go, what you teach, and teach to the indigenous people, or you go to churches teaching what you learn. So pretty much the whole, like, DBS stands for Discipleship Training School. Like, it's really focused on overview of the Bible. There are some schools in YWAM that you can do SBS. That's for 9 months, which it is kind of like individual study of the Bible. But like, that's what my wife did in Sunshine Coast. I recommend whoever's listening, a YWAMer who wants to do a SBS, I recommend you to go to Sunshine Coast. Heard a lot of amazing things about the leaders there. So anyway, shout out to them.
SBS is a School of Biblical Studies.
School of Biblical Study. So DBS is like a guinea pig towards doing the SBS school. So like it really just focuses on the big picture, and like from Genesis to Revelation, and following like the God redemptive plan. You go through where you read the whole Bible in a group setting. Like it's really relational setting with DBS, Discipleship School. And then like you go on, you do life with everybody who's there to do. So like that's what DBS is.
That's awesome. And what's the effect afterwards? Like if I went and did this school, that's awesome. I got the length. It's going to take me between 3 months or 6 months, depending on if I do the school. My focus is going to be biblical studies and application towards my life. But what does the effect have after doing that? Do I return home and that was just a cool Bible holiday, or is there an outstanding effect that happens to people that go and do these schools?
Yeah, because like for me, what happened was like, man, I fell in love with the word. Like there's nothing that can give life than the word itself, the living bread, and that's where the truth is. So like, why not fall in love? Like, okay, let's say the Lord calls you back home. You can use the method that you learned for these 3 months of school. You can go back to your church and teach them how to do it, rather than doing your own thing and persuaded by other things. Like use what the Lord has given you in this 3 months of time to equip even more people who doesn't have 3 months of their time, because like that's, yeah, I don't know. For me, like the Lord called me to mission. So like I use that as well. Like there's so many churches here, they seriously don't know how to study properly, because the mentality here is, okay, the pastor teaches it up there, that's enough for me. There's not of like, oh yeah, I want to learn. There's not of that, because the culture is not like that at all. It's just like, give me, instead of like the pastor pushing people to teach or to learn. Like it's I would say like it's a great way to use that method that you learn to go to these villages or to churches to equip them, because like they have their busy lives, but like they have a spare time when they're having a quiet time, 20 minutes, like they can go through this method, which is super easy. And so like for me, that's what I got out of it. It's like, yes, I got so much revelation from Jesus and the Holy Spirit, but more is just like, okay, like this method I can use every day.
Come on.
This method doesn't have to be always like, have to be in the group setting. You can have a quiet time with whatever method that you learn. That's why it's called Discipleship Training School.
That's so good.
Like the Bible school.
Yeah. And that's it. The last command that Jesus gave us before he ascended into the heavens is go out into all the world and make disciples. And applying that to today, what does that look like? It doesn't necessarily look like going to church once a week on Sunday, and that's enough, If we look at and we take Jesus' last command seriously, it's not enough. It's go out and make disciples. What does that look like? All right, I'm going to find somebody and that is ahead in their spiritual walk, get them to, I'll be under their wing, under their sort of their knowledge and what they're learning, and I'm going to take it in, but I'm not going to just do it on Sundays. I'm going to walk it out every day. That's what the discipleship training school is it creates disciples. And I love YWAM's motto that they have in all the bases, which is to know God and make God known. And it's such a powerful statement, and it's so simple, but that's definitely, I am speaking from experience. I've done YWAM, and it is definitely life-changing. But we won't do a full YWAM promotion here. There's a small one for you YWAMers. It is great. It doesn't have to go through YWAM, though. There's lots of different schools that do it. So let's go back into life in Arjun and Rose's life in Mexico. So does God move differently over in Mexico than he did in New Zealand, and how?
That's a tricky question, because God is the same no matter where you go. I think it's the people who are hungry. I think that's what it makes the difference, because God always moves when people are hungry. So yes, like I do see God moving here a little bit more because people are open. Their hearts are actually hungry to know this God. We're all created to believe, right? We have this desire to believe in something. And here they believe in a lot of things. Yes, they believe in God, they believe in Jesus, they believe in house of death, or all these things. Yet there's so much religion here because they've been persuaded by the enemy. It's, yes, they're hungry, but they're feeding it with something else. So that, I think that's the difference between like New Zealand and Mexico. Is like New Zealand is very focused on like, okay, like what's gonna happen? Like what are the people gonna think about me? Or like, oh, if I believe, then like I can't hang out with my friends, or all these things. There's so much head knowledge to go through and thinking a lot through in your head. There's like pros and cons and all these things. But here, like people just say, like, okay, I received Jesus, Like,
do you think
like
I'll just jump in. Do you think that that's because I find in the Western world, just the first step is almost convincing people that the spiritual realm is a legit thing. And
it's real.
Over there, they're brought up knowing that it's real. It's not something that requires convincing. It's just which God is the one to follow, which one's the truth,
Yep. Yeah, I think that's the thing, like, because you can't play around hell and heaven. Like hell is actually a real place, and
Mm.
they understand that over here. And I think like, or I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like a lot of us in New Zealand like don't even know or even believe that God talked about hell a lot. That there is going to be a judgment one day when we see him face to face.
Yeah.
So like there's not like this deep fear of God, like because it's real, like hell is real, heaven is real. Like what do you choose? You have life and death choice pretty much. So I feel like yes, they understand here and God moves because they're hungry hearted, because they want Jesus. And in New Zealand, yes, they want something, but it needs to be proven.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like
Like
and that's the thing is you can't really, I mean, winning a debate isn't going to win souls all the time. It just
no,
makes somebody feel like they've lost. And it's very hard to, be like, and I love you, but I've won your argument.
yeah.
No,
Yeah, and
show
that's
them that love. Yeah.
and that's where that true genuine love from Christianity comes in. Like
Mm,
if you have love, then people are going to be drawn to church
that's so
or
good.
to you,
Mm,
like because that's what we need. Is like, are we so in love with Jesus that people see that and they're like, what do you have that I don't have?
mm,
That desire, and I think that's the thing, that no matter where we go, it's like, do we have enough of Jesus so that that I can just overflow and that I don't even need to say anything, that I
yeah.
can just have relationship.
Yeah. One of the coolest things I've heard recently, and it was a sermon by a guy in Wellington, and he shared about, how one of the disciples, you might be able to remind me which one it was it Simon that denied knowing Christ 3 times?
Yep.
And
Peter.
yeah, that's it. Simon, he's confronted by these people, and they go, "Hang on, you're one of Jesus's disciples." And he goes, "No,
Yeah.
I'm not, and I don't even know him." And it takes him. These people, they attempt to ask him 3 times because they don't believe him. Now, if you think
Mhm.
about that, that's quite an honorable thing. Like today, imagine, and I'm not promoting denying Jesus, but imagine if you were Arjun to deny Jesus Christ and you looked so much like him and his disciples that I didn't believe you. Now that's where you
Mm.
want to be as a Christian. Even if you were to deny him, people wouldn't believe you. And that's when you know that you're shining Jesus so much through you. And not promoting to deny Jesus, by the way, just as an example. I thought it was really a really cool message. They still didn't believe him. And it was like, no, you are a disciple. You do talk like Jesus. You move like Jesus. And he's like, had to like debate these people. No, I'm not. I'm not a follower, but I'm just thinking,
No.
man, if only I looked like Jesus that much, that people wouldn't even believe me if I tried to escape him. Like, I just
Hmm.
think that's so cool. And like you
Yeah.
said, live that love. And that's
Yeah.
what people
Because
need.
you radiate your Jesus. People will say things to you. People will do things to you that's not honorable to God or to you. But like, if you have the love of God within you, like, man, that's enough for me.
That's so good. So, what's one of the biggest God moments that you've experienced while being a missionary in Mexico?
What is the biggest moment? Dude, like it's like the whole year and a half has been like the whole like a God moment, because like he's really like we said, like pressuring like this fire that's gonna come like diamond,
Mm,
like killing everything, like because we are a newlywed married, like it's only been 2 years, and God's like, no, like I'm gonna like heal you, I'm gonna bring my glory in you.
mm,
So I think personally I would say like he's doing a lot in my heart.
mm,
Like he's teaching me so much more of his like goodness and his faithfulness, even when everything goes out of my way. Like I make a plan and something just like does not go. I'm like, okay, Lord, I can't do this anymore. Like, you take over, And I think I've just seen him being so faithful in everything, not just in finances, like faithful in, for example, faithful in providing a gas tank for 3 months without running out. This 9 kg gas tank. When we first started, like, the base here, like with our leaders, we had this tiny 9 kg gas tank, and then it would not run out. I'm like, what? That's like the smallest thing.
It's
and
awesome.
We're like, what is going on? And then, like, people just bringing eggs and all this thing to the base to, like, just, provide for us.
Yeah.
And we're like, no way. Like, this is crazy. Like if this is not God, then I don't know what it is. That question is, like, I don't know, just seeing so much of his faithfulness just through even the little things that he cares about.
Yes.
Like, and I have seen God move in people's hearts, and that's enough. Like, I don't need to see miracle after miracle to know what I'm doing is right,
Yeah.
Because, like, it's not about miracle, because some people are just really focused on, like, I need to see this to believe. But Jesus said, like, well done, who believes me, who doesn't even know me.
Yeah. He also says you had the prophets and you had all of those people that did miracles and you didn't believe them, so you're not going to believe me even if I performed a miracle. So it's like, sometimes miracles, they're there for the unbelievers, but often for believers that don't deny God's real. They're just not sure, if you're, when Jesus was walking, they were saying, like, I don't know if you're the Messiah. He's like, well, even if I did come down as God, then you probably still wouldn't believe me anyway.
Yeah, they still probably persecute him anyway.
Yeah.
Because of the disbelief. So yeah, like, I don't know, we've been just seeing a lot of his faithfulness and his goodness just by prayer and prayer, like pray and pray and pray. Like, he will do things that you're unexpected.
That's so cool. Has that led you to a life of constant prayer? Like, Lord, this is what I'm doing today. I'd love you to, be a part of that sort of thing.
Yeah, like, me and my wife, every morning and before going to bed, like, we just pray. And we just like, Lord, let your will be done today. Like, we don't want our will to be done. Because, like, here, not just in YWAM, but, like, just the culture here is just like, we have no idea what we're doing on that day. We have literally no idea. So we're just, like, going blind. And yes, like, we're in a pioneering base that's a baby. So, like, yes, like, there's still working towards structure and all that. But the most of the time is just like, no, we just go on the day. Let's go walk with Jesus today. Even if it's sometimes difficult, let's walk with Jesus today. What has he got in his store? Yes, we have intercession in the morning, but what does he have in the afternoon?
Yeah.
So it's just like walking and just trusting. And then, man, like, that's where it's been so busy. Like, when we walk with him, like, things just keep coming up. Like, okay, new ministry, let's go to, there's just so much more.
The harvest is ripe.
Yeah, like, so ripe over here.
That's awesome.
And in New Zealand as well. Like, it's ripe, but people are needs to go.
Come on. What's the biggest need that you find over in Mexico?
People who are willing to go and to go equip people over here. Like, they really need equipping, like, because they believe, but they just believe because what pastor tells you. Like I said in the beginning, I think they just need really good leadership perspective, or like, because they believe in Jesus, but they add their own culture into it. And it's very man-led, so when it's very manly led, like, it's difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a little bit difficult, but at the same time, I think the needs are too big, like, a lot, because no matter where you go, there's a need, But I think we need missionaries to go and teach and equip them so they can go on doing what you've taught them to do. And I think that's our that's been our huge prayer for here, is that we would not just keep it for ourselves, that we would equip Mexicans to go to Mexican people. Because, like we're New Zealander and German, like we're going to go sometime soon. God's going to call us somewhere else. But like when you do have the time to be here, equip them so they can carry on what you have poured into them. Because at the end of the day, like all the gift that we have is unto God's hand. It's not even ours at the end of the day, if you look at it that way. It's all up to God, whatever he wants to do with it. So like, because there are need, like there's poverty, there's so much happening, people killing people, there's a lot of that, lots of things happening that's scary. But like what they need is equipping of the word of God. Yes, they need physical things, like whatever that is. Like there's so much physical needs here, like a house or a bread, whatever it is. They need teaching about farming, or you name it. There are needs for that. But I think there'll be more blessing where there is a more spiritual growth than just like Sunday church people.
How do you find actually going out into the harvest field and evangelizing to Mexicans? How do you find that, the difference of that compared to being here in New Zealand?
Different to that, I would say it's a little bit different here because, like, okay, for example, so we did a caroling on Christmas time, like we did with the church, and we went to house to the unbelievers' homes, and like we would literally just go to house and just like do caroling. And but the thing is, they would not come outside of their house because of I don't know, for some reason, maybe it's the culture, maybe it's just the way it is, but they would not come out. So like we're just there, declaring all this Jesus born, those songs, just praying over them and just giving them a card and all that. So like evangelizing here, it depends where you go. So for us over here in Tamasunchale, it's just very more relational, like so relational that you have to be careful with everything. So, but at the same time, like they are willing to come listen to what you have to say.
True. Wow. Okay.
And I think that's the beauty of relationship as well. Like, because you have this great relationship with that person, they're like, okay, look, what do you have that like I said, like what you are carrying something that I want. How do I get it? So yeah, like evangelizing here, it's pretty easy. Like I would say, yes, language barrier comes in because like, yes, I can communicate in Spanish. So, but there's translator, which is amazing. So like, yeah, it's been really good to evangelize over here because like we run, like our base runs a mercy ministry to go to the hospital and to evangelize and to just give them bread, because people are just waiting in this hospital for 2-3 days without anything. So like that's where we go and just pray for them and just have this relationship with them, to just listen to them. Sometimes it's a lot more healing for them when somebody is willing to listen to them rather than just shove it down their throat of Jesus. Because that's where relationship comes in. And yeah, I think it's just that it's just so much relational over here. So you have to be very cautious of like what you share and what you say. But at the same time, like when you do say it, like they will take it in. They will think about it. They will like, okay, pray for me. And in New Zealand, I would say like people are hungry as well, but they just don't know. Because like when we did live there for a while with Rose and I, like it was, I don't know, just like there is this thickness of like, no, like I live my own life, don't get in the middle of it and all this. But at the same time, when you do have this sort of relationship with them slowly, like there are these hungry people who are waiting. to receive Jesus, And I think New Zealand has so much potential for Christians to actually go have relationship. Don't throw, don't just give them Jesus, but have relationship with them. Invite them not just to church, but invite them to your house. Because it's great, you can invite people to church and all that, but that's so scary for them. But they're actually wanting relationship they desire. They want.
Yeah. I honestly think that what you just said there, invite them to your home, is so, so powerful. That's what we are to represent Jesus, and the relationship that we have with Jesus should be poured out. And Jesus, when he went, he didn't pull people into the synagogues and stuff. He went to the people, So live like that. Yep. Go to them and don't drag them along to church. It's great if you can get them to church, but invite them over to your home. Know that you're not just wanting a convert, you're wanting a friend, you're wanting a relationship with them, It's because that's what we're called to love people, love God and love people.
And you see it in the commandment as well in Matthew 20, 29, 28. Go into the nation by baptizing and doing all this thing. But us Christians, I feel like has happened a lot. It's just I invite you to my church. Let my pastor do the job. Let him do it. That's not my job, Yeah. My pastor's getting paid. My pastor's doing this. He knows Jesus more than I do. Yeah. But I want to encourage you guys that you have the authority and anointing to evangelize and to be love to them. Yeah. To who are in need. They are in need of Jesus. They are in need of Savior, but they don't know. But how will they know if you don't tell them?
That's so good.
Because they're hungry.
Yeah.
Pastor's job is to shepherd the flock, but your job is to go out and love people.
Yeah, it's true.
Don't be so comfortable in church life. Church is just a building at the end of the day. Yep. It's just a building where you have fellowship, but fellowship happens as you continue on with your days.
Yeah.
Work days, you go out with your friends. That's your church as well. How are we living that out?
Amen. That's so good. All right, I'll move on to the next question. Would you say that, moving all the way over to Mexico, choosing to be a full-time missionary, and you said this earlier, you abandon a lot. You abandon stability, you abandon, things that you knew, you were quite comfortable here in New Zealand, and to move all the way over to Mexico, there's a big deal. So the question is would you do it again? And is there any regrets?
Dude, I'll do anything for Jesus. Wherever he calls me, I'll take my family with me. That's the heart that my family has, me and my wife have, is wherever he calls us, we will go. Yeah, yes, of course, there's always doubts, when you walk and leave everything behind, it's I miss New Zealand chocolate, or I miss New Zealand, there's so much things that you materialistically miss.
Yeah.
Of course, I miss my family. I haven't seen them for 2 years. I miss my friends. My best friends are in New Zealand. I miss them for sure.
Yeah.
But that's where when Jesus says pick up the cross, which means pick up your burdens and follow me. But let give me that burden to me, then follow me. So the cost is big when the Lord calls you in the mission field. That's why he says few are chosen. Not everybody can do that, you know. And I totally agree with that. Not everybody can do that. And because God's got a bigger plan than we think, but everybody is called.
Yeah.
So for me, I would do it again, over and over again. If the Lord calls us back again to Mexico, yeah, let's go. There's not really much regrets rather than following Jesus and his voice, following every step that he leads us, even in the uncertainty, even when we question him a lot of just is this where you really want us to be? Nothing is going the way we thought or what we think we should have happened. No.
That's so good.
That's where your faith grows.
Yeah. Come on.
Like, okay, like I don't hear your voice clearly right now, but I trust you that you brought me here. I don't know why I'm here. Like, you have given me passion for preaching, but I haven't preached for 2 years. It's okay.
Yeah.
You're growing me in something else, you know? So like
So good.
it's this perseverance, like where there is diamond coming in, because there is this pressure happening. So like, yes, it's been difficult years, but at the same time, it's been the most beautiful year. Just knowing character and nature of God, even when we don't feel like things are going right in our eyes.
Yeah, it's so good. I love that. So I'm just going to finish up with one last question, really, which is, where is God taking you now?
So just before we talked a little bit, so pretty much because of the visa issue over here, Mexico is getting pretty strict with that. So we only had 30 days when we came back to renew our visa. So now we feel like the Lord's calling us to go to Germany because, yeah, my wife lives there and he's got a big plan over there as well. God's moving a lot in there, and we're expecting actually a revival in Germany as well. So we don't know what's going to happen, or like, we don't know. But this is where it comes again of just like, we are trusting God even when we don't know.
Come on.
Like, we were praying a lot of just like, okay, Lord, like, do you want us to go to New Zealand now or Germany? Where are you calling us right now? Because like, we would love to go to New Zealand. We have an amazing friends and family there where it's comfortable, where there's safe. And then God's like, well, Germany scares us the most, right? Because I have to learn now another language, my wife's language, Deutsch, and I have to, I don't know, get a job and try to speak in German, another language. So like, I was scared at the beginning. I'm just like, I don't know, Lord. Like, if this is where you're calling me to go, where you're calling us to go, like, where are we going to live? Where are we going to do this? How am I going to have a job? All this thing, or like, what are we going to do with missions? Like, we have a huge desire for mission for Germany as well. Like, how is it going to work? Are we going to be involved in YWAM, or are we going to do our own thing? So many questions, right? You start doubting God because of one situation. You have 30 days in Mexico, then you have to pack your bag and leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you do with that? So we prayed a lot and prayed and fasted a lot. And the Lord was very clear. Like, for now, I want you guys to go to Germany to get refreshed and reignite and see what I'm doing there as well.
Yeah.
He wants to revive people in Germany.
Awesome.
So pretty much next week, we have a week. We go to Germany and we'll let you know what's happening.
Yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
There.
Oh, I love that. So you've got this whole chapter of your life, and I love how we've been able to collect that on the Jesus Magnet. We've got sort of your conversion, your early days, getting set on fire for God, and then you've been sent over to Mexico, and you've done 2 years, 3 years, something like that in Mexico, and now you're heading to Germany for the next chapter. And it's awesome to see that constantly it's been a step by step of God leading you, and it's not in any of your own strength. It is, I mean, if you were to do any of this in your own strength, it would be near impossible to learn, because you can speak a couple of languages, can't you? You can speak obviously English, Spanish, Nepali, and German or Dutch on the way.
Yeah, no, like, because I was scared, but like, what the Lord told me was like, I'm going to gift you with that. Don't worry about it, because all you need is me. Like, and I think, and that's what happened with Spanish as well, just because I did go to school. Like, we went to school. Like, it was good for me. But I'm like, Lord, like, this is so hard for me to learn, because it's my third language to learn. And I'm like, no, I can't do it. Like, it's impossible for me to connect with people over here. But man, like, when you allow God to just use you in his way rather than what you think, man, like, anything is possible. Like when Jesus says that nothing is impossible if you believe. And yeah, I think that has been a huge blessing for me to learn this new language, is to just trust him with that. as well.
That's so cool. So, yeah, Arjun, what is somebody that's listening and they're like, you know what, this is an awesome ministry. I love what Arjun's done, Arjun and Rose, and I'd love to partner with your ministry. And they might be thinking, you know, I want to send over some New Zealand chocolate or some prayer, some needs, or some financial support. Is there a way that people can partner with your ministry?
They can. So in Facebook, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you can go to Pardhan Mission. There's a page where we constantly try to post as much as possible when we're not busy to update as well. And there's my Facebook as well, where you can just literally just contact me. Yep. It'll be better to just contact me or my wife directly, because we love relationship and we love just connecting. Because yes, you can give, but give with generosity rather than oh, you have to give because we're missionary. I don't want that kind of money, because people in the past, they have given it because they just felt or something, that was not true from their heart. And I'm like, dude, I don't want your money if you think that of yourself, because money comes and goes, chocolate comes and goes, but the relationships will stick forever, and that's what we care about. So yeah, if people are willing to partner, just send us a message.
Awesome. And I'll leave a link to Arjun's Facebook so that you can contact him. You might even have an email as well, do you, Arjun? We could leave that could leave that in the description too as well, because not everyone's got Facebook. So we'll add that in there too. Sure. Man, Arjun, it's so good to talk to you and to hear what God's been doing with you and Rose. And we'll definitely have to get Rose on here another time, and maybe we can get the German chapter when you guys go to Germany.
That'd be good. Yeah, I think she would love to share her part as well, and yeah, it'll be really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys are amazing. You guys are radical for Jesus, and it's just so cool. Every time I hear, because you and I, we converse on Facebook a couple of times a year, and I always get so inspired by what you guys have been doing, because we follow you guys on Facebook, and it's just so cool to see just young people hungry for God, keen to keep going, and listening to the Lord and acting on Him. And Jesus says, cast all your burdens on me, all your anxieties, fears, and because my burden is light, my yoke is easy. And just see that in action, to see that just walked out right in front of us, it really is inspiring. You guys are incredible. And I pray, I'm going to be praying for you guys, add you guys to the prayer list, and hopefully if you are listening to this and you feel prompted by the Holy Spirit to partner with these guys, it doesn't have to be financially, but if it is, that's amazing. Prayer, chocolate, whatever it is, then just contact Arjun. Him and Rose are very, very good workers in the ministry, and highly recommend partnering with them. So thank you, Arjun, for joining us on the Jesus Magnet podcast for the second time, and hopefully we'll get you on again.
Yeah, no, that'd be amazing. But it was, thank you so much for allowing this time to, just be real and be honest with what the Lord is doing over here and over in New Zealand as well. And my prayer as well for Kiwi brothers and sisters is that you would just fall more in love with Jesus, and that you would just know Him so deeply that nothing would rock your boat anymore. Because yes, there's so much uncertainty that's happening in New Zealand. I've been seeing with everything that's happening up north, with the weather is going crazy. Now there's an earthquake that happened in Turkey and Syria. All this it's a shock, but at the same time, we know our God is faithful in all that He's doing. We know that He has a big plan that we don't understand. But my prayer is that you would fall more in love with Jesus. And thank you so much. And may the Lord bless you.
Thank you. Awesome. That's right. I'll just reiterate that. We don't know what tomorrow holds, but we do know who holds tomorrow. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Jesus Magnet. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Jesus Magnet podcast. If you enjoyed this, make sure that you connect with us. Find us on Facebook, on Instagram, and if you want to support us, be a member of our coffee club, Jesus Magnet Coffee Club. See you next time on the Jesus Magnet.